Hey, good morning. Derek here from Bomb Socks with more Bomb Bites, where we feast upon the words of Christ one bite at a time. As we've done this week, I've tried pointing out titles of Jesus Christ that are found in section 45. We talked about the advocate yesterday, which I think is so important to understand. And anyway, I love that idea. So the one I want to focus on today is found in verse 7. And this one actually is talked about quite a bit, and we haven't really addressed it. And I love the idea here. Verse 7, "For verily I say unto you that I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the light and life of the world. A light that shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not." So there's really quite a few things in there. This light that shineth in darkness. And the reason I bring that up to you is because Jesus started with this idea of Alpha and Omega. And you've seen that a lot in the Doctrine and Covenants. Alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet. Okay, here's Alpha. Omega is the last of the Greek alphabet. Here's Omega. And you put those two together, and Jesus Christ is Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. And I know when we look at that, I know for myself, I've always looked at that in the very much eternal perspective, right? He is the beginning of eternity, and he is the ending of eternity. And when your finite mind, at least mine does this, when your finite mind is trying to think about eternity, it messes with stuff. My mind starts to go, oh dear, what does that mean? This no beginning and no ending, but he is the beginning and he is the end. So when I do that, like I said, my head starts to hurt. So I want to break it down very much to something more simple. So what if you looked at Jesus Christ like this Alpha and Omega? What if you looked at him daily instead of just eternally? Now, what could that look like? So when you think about Jesus Christ, you wake up every single day, and to you, he is Alpha. He is very much the beginning of your day. How would you spend your day? Would you spend it, hitting the snooze button a lot? And maybe I'm speaking from personal experience because I am a snooze button hitter. But what if we started off and just like, we got to start with morning prayer. We have to start with some kind of a connection to him. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it can be something that is simple, that daily reading of the scriptures. I know my wife and I have had numerous conversations about this. For her, it is crucial to be able to wake up every morning and read her scriptures. And it's important to her. And I appreciate her desire to be able to have that connection to him every single morning, because it really does affect your day. But then when you put him as Omega as well, the ending of your day, maybe there are some things to do to connect you there. Those evening prayers, those times where you can maybe sit down and just evaluate the day somehow. Count your many blessings that the Lord has done for you. Look at those tender mercies throughout the day. So when you've started your day with Jesus Christ and you have ended your day with Jesus Christ, he has become Alpha and Omega. One of the verses of scripture that I think really goes nicely with this, a good cross-reference to this idea of Alpha and Omega, you go to Alma 37:37. And this is one maybe you're familiar with. It says, "Counsel with the Lord in all thy doings, and he will direct thee for good. Yea, when thou liest down at night, lie down unto the Lord, that he may watch over you in your sleep." There's your evening prayer. "And when thou risest in the morning, let thy heart be full of thanks unto God. And if ye do these things, ye shall be lifted up at the last day." That almost makes the gospel of Jesus Christ. And sometimes we really complicate things. I know I do. We complicate it. We make it such a lengthy list of things we have to do. What if it just comes down to the idea of you start your morning with prayer? And I like in that verse how it said, "Let your heart be full of thanks unto God" at the beginning of the day. Sometimes we're spending our time asking for things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But wouldn't it be cool if you start off thanking the Lord for those things? In the evening time, pray for the Lord to watch over you in your sleep. And what that ends up becoming is, if Jesus Christ is the Alpha of your day and the Omega of your day, then he is also going to be the middle of your day. You're going to think about him. It'll cause us to remember him more. Elder Bednar a few years ago talked about this idea of praying always. And he says that's really what praying always is you start your morning. Your morning prayer becomes a continuation of your previous night prayer. And you're thinking about it all day. And then the end of the day becomes a continuation of that. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's a continuation. So that becomes a praying always thing. So that's when I look at this idea of Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending of every single day. If we do that, he also will be the middle of it as well. And I think it'll help us do those other things throughout the day that we stress out, that list of stuff that we always do. I think it might make it a little easier if he is the Alpha and Omega of each day of our lives. Anyway, I hope that helps you guys out. Tomorrow, I'm going to share with you a title that is not mentioned in section 45, but is alluded to through the whole section. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. Godspeed. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.